Hi guys. I am actually coming to you today from my parents' house. I'm actually in their office because my internet took forever to upload on Monday. And so hopefully my parents' internet is a little faster. So if the background looks a little different, that's because I am at my parents' house and not my apartment, okay? This is the video for Dragon Day, 12. Dragon Day 12, I think that we're on block 2, all right? Dragon Day 12, block 2, okay? So if you are in block 2, you are in the right spot. Awesome job. If you are not in block 2, then you are in the wrong video. So you need to find the right video, okay? So let's see, what do I want to do? I guess we'll just go ahead and get straight into the lesson. Your lesson's pretty much a review of what we talked about on Monday. And it's a really short worksheet. You only have 6 questions to complete today, 6 math problems to complete today. It is over area, so let's take a moment to review area. Remember when we talked about area, there is a 3-letter word that I told you to remember, and it starts with an A. Can you remember what it is? If you said aim, then you are exactly correct. Good job. But can you remember what the 3 letters stand for? What does A stand for? A stands for area. What does I stand for? Area takes place where? On the inside. And because it takes place on the inside, what do we do? Multiply. So remember, area takes place on the inside, so we multiply, right? This is different from perimeter, which takes place on the what? Perimeter takes place on the outside, so we add. You remember POA? Perimeter takes place on the outside, so we add. But we're dealing with area. Area takes place on the inside, so we multiply. Now, we have been working with kind of distributing area, splitting our areas, right? And on Monday, I introduced you to some rectilinear area. Remember, rectilinear area is when you find the area of, it's like a crazy looking rectangle. It's not even really a rectangle because it's got more than, it's not a rectangle, I don't think. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's not even a rectangle. But it's a crazy looking shape like that, right? A really crazy looking shape like that. And our shape, for the time being, usually has there we go. Usually has tiles inside of it. Something that sort of looks like that, right? Now remember, when you have a shape like this, and you have the tiles inside, and you're distributing the area, and you're splitting it, remember, we have steps. I think we have 4 steps, right? Step 1, do you remember what step 1 is? Split the shape, right? We're going to split the shape. So I'm going to take this shape and I'm going to split it into rectangles because I'm used to finding area for rectangles, right? Length times width. That's what we've been finding area for this entire time is rectangles. So I'm going to take this shape and I am going to split it into 2 rectangles, all right? It's not a rectangle right now. I'm going to make it into 2 rectangles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to split it here. Now, do you see how now that I've split it, I have two rectangles? I actually have a rectangle and a square. But I have one down here and I have 1 up here. Are you with me? And what I find kind of helps me, and might help you, is if you, after you split it, if you just kind of draw it down here to show that you split it, that way you can distinguish between the two, because sometimes it can get confusing when you're looking up here. So step 1 is to split the shape, right? And we split the shape into 2 new rectangles, right? Step 2 is to do what? What do we have to find? We have to find something. I've got my hat on today. We have to find something. What do we have to find? Find the, remember what this is? Dimensions, right? Step 2 is find the dimensions. So we're going to have to find the dimensions of these 2 rectangles. Now remember, dimensions is just a fancy word for length, which is how tall something is, right? My marker's rolling around. Length, which is how tall something is, and width, which is how wide something is, right? So next we've got to find the dimensions of these 2 rectangles. I don't see any numbers on here. How can I find the dimensions of these rectangles? What could I do? I need to count the tiles, right? So I need to find the length and width of both of these shapes by counting the tiles. Now, to find the length, I'm going to count up and down because length is how tall, right? So let's start with this first shape up here. If I count up and down, how many units is it long? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 units. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 3 units up here. And then I'm just going to write a 3 down here. All right? If your square up here is 3 units long over here, what